Good afternoon. My name is Vasil Radojnovski, and I have the honor and pleasure to moderate the last panel. Today, I'm the director of the Bulgarian-Swiss Commercial Chamber, and our organization is actively involved in the DOMINO project, and we are also very active at the forum. This institution was mentioned several times. I don't know if there are any reporters left. Kirill Volchev, the journalist, called upon them, and I'm sure, I hope that we will see some headlines tomorrow. Let me introduce our panelist, Mr. Yuri Hammer, who came from Slovakia to participate in this forum. He's the head of the training department of Kia Motors Slovakia. He will tell us about their experience with dual-track education and the automobile industry in Slovakia and their company in Slovakia. And on my left is Dr. Corina Borer from the University for Training of Teachers and head of the Center for International Projects in the area of education. She will talk about the project she's involved in Romania, Moldova, and other countries in the region. I suggest that we start and hear Kia Motors' experience with dual-track education in Slovakia. Mr. Hammer, the floor is yours.
Dear ladies, dear gentlemen, I'm really appreciate that I can be part of this national conference about dual education system, and also I can share my experience with dual education system. As the main moderator told, I'm working for Kia Motors Slovakia on education training department. So I will continue my presentation about my dual education system. Firstly, let me say something more about our two systems which we have in Slovak Republic. First one, let me say state system. We have standard vocational practice, where school is fully responsible for organizing theoretical and also practical part. We have the students only for last year of their study or last 2 years of their study. Our dual education system is a little bit different because school is responsible only for theoretical part, but our company is fully responsible for practical part. So it means, as you can see on the screen, our company should sign contract with school, and also our company should sign a contract among us, among students, and also about parents. Let me now say something more about general overview of dual education system in Slovakia. As you see, during the 2015, we have only 422 study position, but now is almost 1,400. Also, about employers, you can see that there is increasing character. And what is very important, because it's based on partnership between company and schools is also increased character. Nowadays we have 87 schools which are directly connected or involved to dual education system. Let me say something more about our platform on dual education system. Some significant employees in Slovakia, which you can see on the bottom of the screen. There is also all 4 car makers in Slovakia with cooperation in automotive industry of association in Slovak Republic, creating some platform. And the main role this platform is sharing of best practices and experience with dual education system. And also creation of common goals with Automotive Industry Association to push on the government and the future development of dual education system. So based on this, our platform, we can discuss with government side, make some legal countermeasures For example, legislative requirements, tax and finance support, labor court. Also, we can more push to school founders because of curriculums, contracts, normatives, selection process. And on the other side of this graphical scheme is parents and student. We should still work on active marketing propagation. I will be later explain detail. What I would like to point out is this platform has a regular meeting, what is very good for sharing best experience between employees. And also every time on other place we have some factory tour and make some inspiration from other employees. Couple of words about our company, Kia Motors Slovakia. So we are in Slovakia, exactly in the middle of Slovakia. Our production capacity is 350,000 of cars per year. So it means from 60 till 65 cars per 1 minute. We are producing 3 models. Maybe you know Kia Sportage, Kia Venga and Kia Ceed. Also, only our automotive company, Kia Motors, working in Slovakia, only we are producing the engines. So we are producing 7 types of engines. Our number of employees is almost 4,000 employees. Based on the history of our cooperation and school, our company started with official production in 2006. So this is time when we started our history. The vocational practice or the stage system we started in 2007. Also we provide some scholarship program. We already started with 2012. And from 2016, we are really involved to dual education system. As you can see on this upper right graphs, there is level of our education of our employees. So the main part is more as 80% is employees educated on secondary vocational school without graduation or with graduation. Okay. Let me say now something more detail about technical support. In 2006 we start with really deep technical support of secondary vocational school. We donate per symbolical €1 more than 100 cars, more or 69 engines and also 79 components. The components means dashboards or complete bodies. Also, we provided scholarship for now is for 37 students. This is mainly for qualified position. And on Slovakia, the scholarship is only one way how we can make obligation for our students to stay in our company after finish of study. Also, we organize competition Kia Innovation Award, where till now we have 62 projects. It's competition about environment, for example, future technologies on health safety on road. About vocational practice, the number of students is quite high. So far we have more than 600 students. We actively cooperate with 10 vocational schools in our region, and also next to our production factory we have a training center, and then we providing possibility to make final exam for our students. On this screen you can see very easily system of our influx of talent. As I mentioned, we have practice. So this vocational practice is for last year or last 2 years of study, only for technical study field. We are providing for the students fee for production work. Students have also possibility to be part of summer brigade, and we cooperate only with vocational schools in Žilina or in our region. Other type of cooperation is scholarship program. Our decision is maximum 10 students per year. This is specialized for a more qualified position as a standard operator position, and we supporting student during last 2 year or last year of study. Then students have obligation to stay in our company, and our scholarship fee per 1 year is 2,000 euro per one student. Dual education system, as I mentioned, theory in school, practice organized in our company. Also, we have obligation for 2 years for every student who is involved in a dual education system. Students also can participate on summer brigade, and mainly first year the students are placement on school, but the other years working in our company. So we provide them practice fee. In our company, we have 7 study fields which we are qualified for dual education system. The top three one now we have open. So programmer of CNC and welding machines, mechanic mechatronic, it's quite new one for us, and mechanic specialist is automotive industry. In these 3 study fields, in this whole year we have totally 23 students. What we offer for our students? We offer a guaranteed working position after study to each student. Yeah? We offer corporate scholarship. As I mentioned, this is only one way how we can make obligation for students, but also it's big contribution for student salary, for student social situation. I'm sorry. We provide production work fee, mostly 2nd, 3rd, and 4th year of study. If student make some products, we paid production fee. For our employees, we provide contribution for meal for our students. Also working clothes and working equipment. Every year student should go to health check, and we provide bus transportation for free for all our students. Based on our SWOT analysis, I would say a couple of words about this analysis. The first one, flexible management of practical education with new technologies. Most of schools in our region haven't got material equipment which is necessary for practical education, but our company has. So this is very important because if we want qualified student, we should provide them qualified working environment. Students who are involved in a dual education system, it's under company supervision, so we can very easily check the level of student knowledge. So this is quite good. Save the cost for hiring of new employees and requalification of our employees. Also, based on low possibility and of course in cooperation with school, we have direct influence to content of practical education in our company. Increasing of loyalty of our employees, improve of image of company and working skills of our employees, and enhancement of company culture and social responsibility status. It means our common goal during the dual education system is when students switch off from students to our employees, he should be ready for work on our equipment. under weakness, I would say contract with schools and studying during the whole study. Be part of dual education system is really serious decision for company and also for school. So this is why I mention in weakness. For companies, mean cost increase because of material provision of students. Yeah, for example, personal protective health, psychological check, meal. Also, financial provision of students, as I mentioned, scholarship or salary for production work. And in our company, when students are in the school, mostly for first year, the school provides us supervisor or superior. So we paid for this superior. The second and the later year they are in our company, we use our internal employee as instructors. Other opportunities, I would say, students has unique chance to be part of production process, to feel the real working environment and working with the newest technologies, and also what is very important, get new contacts, get new relationship with our employees. Increasing of employed of just graduated students. In our country, 30% of young students working on other position as he studied. So this is no good status. So this is why I put into opportunities. Creation of education program based on requests and needs. Of course, this is in line with schools. And a very close cooperation among our companies, school and students. Work in dual education system, it's work on daily basis activity. So we very often call to parents, to students, discuss, make some meeting, what we should do better, or what was the problem. The last one treats. We have problem with qualified workforce, but also for enough people for selection for the best, because young students are not interested in this type of study. Many of them wants to go to gymnasium. Many of them wants to go some business academy. Willingness of students work for KMS after graduation as well. Continuing KMS or continuing student in study at university, I would say if students choose the university which is in automotive field, is okay. We can switch the students to other type of scholarship which we provide for a university student, and we will wait for them. It's really not a problem for us. We appreciate it. But if students go, for example, to school where teach some humanitarian science or something what is not connected with our business, it's not good status for us. And also in our business, the situation is very turbulent. So 3 or 4 years waiting for new students, or we really don't know what will be happened next year. So after 3 or 4 years, the situation on market can completely change. Based on some practical or marketing promotion, I would say some forums how we promoted our dual education system. We selected some couple of forums. First of all is paper forum. We printed out many leaflets, many posters. Also we created article to regional newspapers, created big billboards, big board. Also we had personal meeting with mayors of surrounding villages and discussed about potential of dual education system. In our company we have 2 internal magazines, so we prepared the article for our employees. Based on electronic or media form, in our PR department we create a press release or YouTube video. Also, we put information on our web page and on the social site and prepare some presentation board. What is very important is the personal form of presentation or marketing of dual education system. So we provide or we discuss with school directors what should be better and what should be helped to make decision for students. So we start with factory tour. It means the schools who wants to see our factory can go there, and they have some presentation about factory. Then they have some time for discussing, and this was also for parents and also for young students. We made some shopping center presentation. We have active meeting with educational career counselors in our country. And also personally, sometimes we go to elementary school and present it some details about dual education system. Just for your information, this is how it looks like our posters and leaflets. So it's colorful. Our web page, when you come to our web page, there is some pop-up window where it's directly connected to application form on dual education system. We make some article to regional newspapers, also big board, billboard, internal magazine, as I mentioned, some promotional board which was placed in secondary vocational school. Okay. Our vision is not on support only secondary vocational school, but also all steps or types of school. Yeah? It's about kindergarten, it's also about elementary school, and also about secondary vocational school. So we decided, and when I start from left side, the students on kindergarten should teach with play of technical games. On elementary school, we won't come back to polytechnic education because we haven't got polytechnic education on our elementary school. And also on secondary vocational school, practical education with newest technical. Okay. This is what we decided, what will be provided to our schools. In December this year, we provided for kindergarten Lego cubes, which are made from soft material. It's quite big. Also, as you can see, some two wooden construction set. For elementary school, other type of Lego where the students can program it or can teach about the basic principle of electricity. Also, Blue Box is our working name. It's the set where students can teach about how we can get energy, for example, from solar, from hydrogen, from wind. And on the right side, the secondary vocational school, we directly ask what the school needs, and we provide CNC simulator, welding simulator, or some paint equipment. What I would mention is important of selection process. As you can see on the schedule, it's really all-day program. We will start with some presentation about our company. Then parents will go to factory tour, see all around our company. But students are in part of psychological testing, skills test, as assessment centrum. And then on the last day, on the last part, we have individual interview with each student. Yeah? I just show you very briefly some pictures. This is about psychological testing provided by external company. Skill test, as you see, student had some plastic board with many holes with different sizes, and for example, in time limit 3 minutes, the student can screw the bolts nuts in as much as possible. And construction task, student had produced way for plastic ball from flip chart paper. During this construction, students were observed by our assessors, and assessors focus on collaboration, communication, and how they overcome through obstacles. Very briefly, because I haven't got too much time, but what is most important, it's the be in the really relationship with secondary school. It's not only about company, not only about school, but it's about partnership. As you see, we are certified for more study as we now need. Marketing and cooperation and school, it's really difficult way, but the parents should know that we don't see on the students on like cheap workforce, but we see on each student as our future employees. Yeah, so it's very important to make very positive marketing of this vocational system. As I mentioned, this education program is editable, selection process. Dual education system you cannot provide with only one computer. You need really huge material equipment and also qualified staff. So it's really difficult decision to enter to dual education system. I would say something more about benefits from our government. Our tax deductible expenses are cost for instructor or superior, operational cost, financial support of student, travel expenses, or personal protective equipment. So we can make tax deductible from our government, but which is connected to students' participants ratio. So it means if students go less to the vocational practice, we get less tax deductible. On the right side on the table you can see if students go more as 400 hours per school year, we have tax deductible over 3,000 euro. Yeah. In our company, only the dual education system looks like in this table. We started in 2016. We have 22 students in 2 study fields, and in 2017 we have 23 students in 3 study fields. So totally we have 55 students in dual education system. Very briefly, some photo. This photo is directly from school or from our training center. It's only from first year of study. What to do for dual education system? I just read it. Active involvement of all social partners. Increase the motivation of employers and schools to enter the system. I think it's the government role. Set school plans in line with market needs. This is very, very important. Direction of students on basic school, all parties. Not when students finish the elementary school. More intensive marketing by the state and the employers. So this information brings me to end of my presentation.
Благодаря много, господин Хамър.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hammer. I hope you have been able to follow this presentation and all the facts and information shared with you. Before we move on to the next presentation, 1 or 2 questions that you would like to ask at this very point. Anything that really impressed you and you would like some clarification?
Не работи май микрофона.
Thank you. Just a question. Do you cooperate with your competitors? You have also other automotive industry in Slovakia. Are you organized in clusters that you cooperate for this education, or it's mainly your own program doing and you negotiate bilaterally with each school? Thank you.
It's about platform, and it's only for general task in dual education system. But later each company can discuss separately with secondary school. This platform is because in dual education system in Slovakia is only second school year, so we are still on the start, and there are many things what we to do. This main reason why we created the platform is sharing best experience and make some arguments for our government.
Да, благодаря. Тоест,
Thank you. This means that big employers as your company and the three other big automotive manufacturers can negotiate specific conditions for themselves, or you work together for the whole of the automotive industry, or you can negotiate conditions for your specific region.
As you see on the presentation, it's not only about 4 car producers. There are some significant employees from Slovakia, but I think this is our social responsibility not train the students only for our company or for other companies, because students can change the employers. They should know working also in other companies. Yeah, so in generally not working only for our companies.
още един въпрос сега. Има ли?
Any other questions at this point?
Да, заповядайте.
Yes, the floor is yours. Please introduce yourself.
From Şişecam Automotive, Bulgaria. Thank you very much first that sharing your experience with us. I would like to ask, you mentioned that you are making a special contract with the school and the students and the family. Could you a little bit explain detailed what is consisting in this contract, especially with the family? I would like to know. Thank you.
Това е договор за дуалното образование. Става дума за сътрудничеството. Обяснява се кой ще бъде наставника, какво ще бъде заплащането, тъй като ние заплащаме. Но може би ви интересува другия договор по-скоро. Имаме други 2 допълнителни договора с учениците при нас, които са и с родителите. Причината е, че учениците са непълнолетни, нямат 18 години и родителите са фактически страна в този процес на договаряне. В договора отново са включени основните елементи, свързани с заплащането, мястото на практиката, нашите задължения и също така задължението на ученика да остане при нас, след като приключи с образованието за 2 години. Когато ученика е завършил по дуалното образование, задължението е за 2 години. Ако ученика замине в чужбина или не иска да остане в нашата фирма, тогава ученика е задължен да ни плати, да ни върне обратно сумата заплатена за неговата стипендия. Между 2000 и 3000 евро са разходите на ученик, съответно, когато се прави този тип обучение. Thank you very much. Now the next question. There will be some more time for discussion after that. Now, Dr. Corina Borer. The floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you first of all for the invitation. Thanks. It's an honor for me to be here, and I'm glad that I have the chance to also. Now I have to take it out. I have the chance to present and contribute with another perspective of Switzerland, but also an international perspective of Romania. So I would like to step out a little bit of this dual system, which we discussed the whole day, and I would like to bring you to another point, which is professional orientation and counseling, which we see as a precondition, an integral element of success of the dual system. And I really much, I was really impressed the whole day of the achievements that the DOMINO project presented today, and also the discussions. And in all discussions we found some points of, sometimes it was called personal skills, life skills, or social skills, or self-competences. So I will enter into this more now. I will contribute to with 2 points. One is the job orientation, how this is embedded in Switzerland, and then the other one will be an example how we implemented the project for professional orientation in Romania the last 5 years. I would start with an old saying, a trade in hand finds gold in every land, which I think reflects the thinking and the culture of Switzerland very good. Today you would say vocational training is the basis for lifelong learning, and these are not only words, and we hear this a lot of times today. This means really that Switzerland's success is based on vocational education and training. And we need, to clarify this, we need actually young people who are motivated, who are innovative, who are stepping into the working life. I'm sure you all know this scheme, and I'm not frightening you. I will just not go into detail in this scheme. I would like to point something else out. We heard a lot about the dual system today, which is now here on the scheme with all the levels of education. And we also hear that the Swiss educational system is based on clearly defined educational offers that is highly permeable, and it combines the academic education and the vocational training. But what I would like to point out is something different. You see here again this scheme in a more simplified way, with all the levels that you can go through from lower secondary level to the upper and the tertiary level. And what I would like to emphasize here, that job orientation and counseling starts already in Switzerland in the secondary 1 school. But more than this, during the lower secondary level school, we also develop life skills for the students, for the adolescent. And this makes it possible to transit into the next level, either it's general education school or vocational education school. And as we hear today also, it's like only 20% or about 1/3 are entering into general education, and another 2/3 are entering into vocational education. And it's not because it's so easy to enter into vocational education, but it's because also the big companies, but the mid and the small size companies need skilled young people, innovative people, and this is the resource of development and the production of Switzerland. This is actually the success. And I would like to point out, after we heard a lot of times the dual system today, that actually entering into this dual system, it's important that the students are, or the young people, the adolescent people are prepared for this transition into the dual system. It has to be considered that a successful start into working life is really crucial for those young people for their personal development. I mean, when they fail, they will struggle for a longer time. And that's why we have to support them in this transition. And they are not struggling only with the interface of transition from secondary school to the labor market. And another transition is then the following step into the working life. But they're also struggling with challenges of their own at this age, at this stage of age, with their biological development. So what we actually expect from them is to make this step into the working life, to deal with their own personal development issues, and then also, as we hear today, to develop life skills during the vocational education training. And this, I think, it's you are already in real life when you are in vocational education and training, and you already need those life skills before. You need to build up those life skills already in compulsory school. What we do in Switzerland in order to support those adolescent or young people in their transition from compulsory school to vocational education and training, or to the next level of school, is we offer a network of different actors, and we also offer support measures. And here in this slide you see the network of, that's why I called it job orientation as joint task. You see at one hand is where's the beamer? The teachers. You need well-trained teachers in school already, which have which are trained in kind of social, psychological skills in counseling and guidance or job orientation. And you need school directors that are actually organizing and initiating projects in job orientation. And this you can find in any school, different activities like projects, or they do some some seminars with the parents where they learn how to call a business or how to write an application, something like this. They can also go with the school to visit a company. There are various initiatives at the school level. And then, of course, you need the students and their family, and you all know how much impact the family has on the choice of a career. So also the parents are informed. They can also go to the counseling information centers. So this is one point, and then the other one is, of course, the curriculum. And the curriculum gives the framework of which competences are actually needed in terms of job orientation. Then you have the federation and the cantons, which are responsible for strategic questions, the development of the curriculum and the educational system, and so on. And the cantons are, in 26 cantons, the implementation of the educational system is slightly different, but they are actually by themselves responsible for the implementation and the monitoring. And last but not least, as we hear today many times, the private sector. And this means that, for instance, the students in school have 10 days per year at this age, 7th, 8th grade, 9 grades. They have 10 days which they can use actually to go into businesses. So they tell the teachers, today I'm in this business, and I will visit this business for exploring what I would like to do. And then from the private sector side, they have to open their doors. They also perform some information campaigns, and you can also invite them to the school. They will hold they will give some information to the students and answer questions. Additional to this network, we have supporting measures for young people. And here I would like to point out the combination of practice and theory. It is not only important to combine this in the vocational education and training, it's also important to combine this already in the school. Because once you step as a student or a young person into the vocational education and training, and you have no idea about this combination of like practice and theory, plus the life skills that you need, you have to be prepared already before. And this means, in our case, that job orientation is not only gathering informations in the internet or in books, it's stepping into the business, touching the business actually. And the supporting measures for this, for the young people, are vocational information and counseling. So you can gather some information in centers, where you can also have individual counseling. You can go with the parents or with the whole school there. You can watch movies. This is actually I think the most used information resource. Then you have a list of apprenticeship positions, which is actually a platform on the internet where you can find open apprenticeship positions which are reported by the businesses. And the student can go to this, it's called LENA, can go to this list and search for professions or cantons, like the region, and apply for the apprenticeship. Then for those students who have difficulty in schools, or also like have social issues, or just couldn't find an apprenticeship, there's transitional options. They are going one year more to school, and they can work on their deficits, like somebody is bad in math or in the language skills, or your application forms are not ready. So they can work 1 year on this deficits. The last 4, which are on my slide, are coaching and case management, placement service, and individual guidance, are actually really individual support for those students who have learning difficulties or like more issues in school. And this is then a structured procedure which is actually going beyond institutional and national boundaries. So this was just gives you just a flavor how job orientation looks like in Switzerland. We always invite our international partners to Switzerland to see those information centers, because once you see it and you see also the projects, you can have a better picture on this. The Zurich University of Teacher Education is responsible actually for teaching or training teachers, also not only in job orientation and counseling, but this is now the context. We are responsible for pre- and in-service training of teachers, but we are also interested to exchange our know-how and experience with the international actors. So in this context, the university is inviting students to be trained in the university, but on the other hand, they decided to establish a center in 2007. We are now 10 years old actually, a center for international projects in education. And our focus is, this is the next slide, that we transfer the know-how to international projects. We initiate a company project in schools, so we are working with schools, but also with non-governmental and governmental institutions abroad and in Switzerland, of course. And we provide the expertise in education. We are focusing on developing training programs, on teaching materials, and also exchanging in the scientific area by network projects. We are a really small team, as you can see, but we can always fall back on the lecturers and the experts in the university once we are implementing a project, and this is a real huge source for us. So if you are interested in the center, you can visit the website, and there you can also see in which fields we are active, and all materials are open sourced. Now I'm coming to the Romanian project. This is the okay. I'm switching now to the international perspective that we implemented in the frame of Switzerland's contribution to the European Union enlargement. We implemented the Jobs Romania project in cooperation with the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation and the Ministry of National Education. It's called Job Orientation in Businesses and Schools. And I would like to point out once more that we are not in the field of vocational education and training. We are in compulsory school in secondary level 1. So the project is implemented in it is implemented here. And we have a piloting in the technical high school, but the major focus was to implement this into the school, the last 2 years of school. And the technical focus of this project is actually to develop transversal competences of the adolescent, to give them tools and strategies for the professional guidance, but also to prepare them or develop abilities to deal with challenges in daily life. So these are professional competences, methodical, social, and self-competences. And these competences then result from, on one side, the subject competence, which is job orientation. So actually to gather the knowledge about the labor market, to matching my own competences to the labor market, to take decisions or realize what I would like to do. And then all of this, and we hear this, we discussed this a lot of times today, all of this is based on life skills. And this is actually what the project makes it so so special and so also innovative, is the mixture of these tasks in the booklets are always based on life skills. To cooperate, to communicate, to take decisions, to be critical, and in creative thinking. And this is, somebody said before, it's like also the language is an issue. So you can actually, under this competence model, you could lie here underneath the language, because this is the base actually, to build up life skills and then to enter into any subject competences. I mean, this is the parts that the students in school and also the teachers that have been trained go through, is they have to identify their personal strengths, explore their professional world in the regions, prepare their application document. They define areas of interest, and then they also decide where they want to go, depending on their individual profile, competence profile. They establish contacts with the companies, they present themselves to the companies, and then they organize an event, the jobs fair, which is the huge thing in Romania at the end of the school year. We have seen many of them. So this is, these are actually the parts that they are going through during one school year. This is just an infogram, which I will not go into detail, but I will show you the outputs. What I would like to emphasize is that the whole implementation is based on cooperation with the institutions, with the Ministry of National Education in Romania, and with the National Center for Vocational Education and Training Development. We also founded a Go for Jobs Foundation and initiated the Jobs Unit and Training Center. What we also did is, like, we implemented, or we developed the materials from scratch from 2012 on, and all in cooperation and participation with pilot schools. So we had to give actually the color of the country to those materials, because just like writing materials in Switzerland and placing them in Romania would not make any sense. So schools piloted those materials and revised them. We revised them until today. So now we are in 180 schools. We have students, like over 9,000 students that participated now in jobs. We have over 500, or now it's like here it's saying 435, but it's actually 530 teachers which were trained, and over 800 businesses that are involved right now. And what Mr. Hammer said before is like what we also did, we tried to bridge or link the schools to the businesses. So the outcome is now what stays, and the program will finalize this year. What stays now is jobs is integrated into the curriculum, right now in the lower level, but it will also be implemented in the upper level. The Jobs Unit and Training Center is now a center which is responsible for the development and for further implementation in Romania, and it will stay after we are going. The teacher house and the inspectorates are involved, and they will take over actually right now, the teacher training program, which we developed and accredited. Then we will still have the foundation Go for Jobs, and we have also performed an outcome measurement study which shows significant impact on teachers and students. And I will jump over this slide now with the outcomes on teachers and students, but I'm happy to discuss this with you later. And I will leave you with the words of a teacher which just participated in Bucharest region. Even if not simple, the application in jobs of the new modern concept was our greatest benefit. And this is true because we have seen that they learned a lot of new methods. The teachers appreciate it, and the students appreciate it because they actually learned to know, like they got to know themselves better, but also between the teachers and the students, the relationship was closer, they told us. So, I would like to tell you that the jobs project ro.ro, you will find all the information and also materials. So thank you for your attention, and thanks for the translation, by the way.
Благодаря много.
Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Borer. Now, we are approaching the final part, although we are half an hour late because of the previous panel, but there were interesting questions discussed. I hope that the media will cover them in the appropriate fashion. The good news is that we are going to be able to discuss the issues over glasses of wine, and as there are fewer people, there can be more glasses of wine available to each of us. So, questions? Any more questions from the floor? Well, I suppose the presentations were quite exhaustive. So it will be my honor to sum up the accomplishments of today. So we had the honor to have the second day of this conference opened by high-ranking officials. Their messages were extremely positive, as has been the situation in our field for some time. I would like to reiterate the positive practices that were shared by the 3 projects implemented in Bulgaria with the support of Switzerland, Austria and Germany. I think taken together in their entirety, they have the synergy of results. These 3 projects work in a coordinated manner, and the Ministry of Education and Science has succeeded in consulting the efforts. And we have, as a result of this, forms of dual-track education with real impact. So this was the take-home message of this first session, that the positive experience has been expanding, but then in the next panel, new problems arise as a result of this. As we heard, they require strategic response, and it was mentioned during the panel immediately after the lunch break, where we heard the Ministry of Education himself responding to questions posed by the businesses that are involved in dual-track education in Bulgaria. The basis of discussion during this panel was the presentations of 2 schools, including the students and their parents. So we were able to hear all stakeholders of the dual-track education model. Let me mention briefly the conclusions that were identified as most important. I will list them briefly, and I'd appreciate if some of you wishes to comment or add something that's missing. Increasing the qualification of teachers in the theory of practice and practice of the profession. This was mentioned by the minister and by the company representatives. Establishing a system for training instructors, company instructors. Such a program is in place. It was discussed within the dual-track education system forum and proposed by the Minister of Education. So I think we have a starting point. Then, improvement of the coordination between the various institutions for quick amendments to the legislation, because we realize that regulations should be amended, some of the primary or secondary legislation should be changed. And there have been a number of proposals that were discussed within the forum, with detailed discussions in the National Coordination Group. The most important issue being the legal relations between the working students or apprentices, because we lack a term in Bulgarian, the schools, the companies. You heard the Slovak experience. It was interesting to mention that the company in Slovakia had a contract with the school, on the basis of which it offered financial support. There were some joint activities conducted, but you also heard that the businesses are willing to offer financial support, provided that they are sure in the quality of education. So I think there's willingness in place, but we'll see how it will evolve, because experience has indicated that when we have too many stakeholders, or a few stakeholders, it's difficult to be successful. Another achievement was the system for early professional orientation. We heard the Swiss example, and it was mentioned several times that when it should start. Madam Plukcheva, the former ambassador of Bulgaria to Switzerland made an intervention, but we need concerted action and and also the unified campaign for promotion. And working with the parents, we witnessed good partnership, or rather than between the Ministry for Education and the Ministry for Economy on who should do the financing. I hope that they will not compete in this process. I think this will be the basis for joining forces, because we discussed this several times within the forum. There is an acute need for a unified information campaign and promotion strategy for dual-track education, addressed to the business, to the vocational education employees, and to parents and students. And the incentives for the companies was discussed too. This topic, on the one hand, is very important. On the other hand, as it became clear today, when we say financial incentives, this does not, they are not in the direct sense of the word. The message, the take-home message of today was that sometimes even shared responsibility and encouragement are an incentive rather than just money that can be viewed as state aid. But we are all aware that the companies involved in the DOMINO project take higher social responsibility, and they take over some of the roles of the government, and they should be encouraged or remunerated or in some other way supported for having done that, because they work to the best benefit of the Bulgarian society. We saw the interesting example from Slovakia. The situation there has been very thoroughly regulated. I don't know if the business believes that this is enough, but the positive outcome is there. It is visible. Yes or no? Yes or no would be a good response. All right, yes is the answer. And lastly, what Minister Vilchev said at the end, the Ministry for Education and Science will work to increase the enrollment numbers, but when will this be regulated, and how will the number of students going to enrolling in foreign language schools will be reduced? The Ministry for Education will work to do so, along with the projects that are implemented now, and possibly with their extension. The Ministry of Education increased their contribution, their co-financing to the DOMINO project, which was a good sign. So this question is also related to the provision of scholarships in the grade 8, 9 and 10 before they start receiving salaries for the work they do in the companies. So I think we should be looking for solutions in that regard too. And last but not least, the minister emphasized that a large-scale information campaign should be organized by the ministry itself or along with other ministries. So this is what the notes that I took. Do you believe there was something else mentioned which was important and should be incorporated in the list of recommendations that came about during this conference? Well, I suppose I've been quite exhaustive. In conclusion, let me say that this conference was interesting, although at the end of the day the interest has somewhat subsided, and it should be held again next year. I hope that you will have the strength to do that. Then we will report on the challenges and on the successes of dual-track education in Bulgaria, and I think we stand a good chance of being successful in this very important domain, because the future of our children is at stake. I don't know if anyone else wishes to take the floor at the end. I don't see. So it's my turn now. It's my honor now to declare this conference closed.